But I'm gonna say something else too. If you fool enough to go do something like that, when every one of them packages says, in any kind of configuration, not for consumption, call a doctor immediately if you consume any of this thing.
But the sad part is some people are. I mean, it is what it is.
Did you see the meme about the chewable Clorox?
I did. Now, I think they stole that from the chewable ginger ale. That was funny. That made sense. Ginger ale
won't kill you.
Ginger ale won't kill
unless you got severe diabetes. It won't kill you.
Right. But, I mean, when companies like Lysol have to put out a statement, please do not. I mean, but you have to think about it. They legally had to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if they hadn't and someone did it, and God forbid they died, what would have happened?
Lawsuit.
Class action lawsuit. Call 1-800. I drunk Clorox.
Did you hear on TV from someone who was a authority figure that it was okay?
Were you exposed to the coronavirus? Did you take Lysol for your symptoms? Did someone close to you die? You know, one of them commercials will pop up. Big old billboard. You know, the billboards, those type of billboards are big in the South.
We fight for you.
We'll fight for you. Call this number. It's so funny when I go home. It's just like I have to change my mindset.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's so different. Don't get me wrong. I love home, but it's just the mind process is different.
It's actually good that when you're going home to all of our places where our families come, because all of us come pretty much out of the country. It's actually helpful to drive for me, I find sometimes, because it gives me time to go ahead and process the change. We used to do that when we were young, when we lived in Iowa and we drove back to Georgia. We would go through, it was like 12, 13-hour drive. So we start saying, okay, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, may I, please, thank you, da-da-da. Not that we weren't courteous in Iowa, but the culture was very different and the rules were different. And when you talk about the billboards, girl, I get around some of these places in rural Arkansas. Go drive through South Arkansas, in the spaces between Camden and El Dorado and Little Rock and all the other kind of stuff, and you will see those same billboards you see at home in Mississippi. You see the same ones. And and you'll see a whole lot of pregnancy problems, that kind of stuff.
My favorite ones are the child support ones. They have a big in Jackson where they have everybody pitch up there who owe child support. Those are hilarious.
I forgot.
Yeah, they put your picture up. I don't know if they still do it, but back in the day, you would get your picture up. Mm-hmm. And if you owe child support, you got on the billboard.
Wow.
But it's so funny. I was talking to my aunt the other day, and I think she called me and left a voicemail, and I said, Neikeita, which is my name, but it's not the name that is used back home. Mm-hmm. And she goes, who is she? And I went, that's me. We don't know her. We don't know her.
Wow.
Who is she? We don't know her. I said, well, that's the professional person, the business minded. Yeah, I don't know her. That's who I'm talking to now? No, ma'am. You're talking to Shay. Oh, okay. Because I'm about to say, I don't know who Neikeita is. But that's kind of how your mindset is. You have to literally regroup and be like, okay.
Yep. Because you want to be respectful. And you don't want them saying, oh, you done forgot who you are and where you come from.
Where
you done got fancy. You done got bougie. Oh, no.
I just used subject verb agreement. That's all. Yes. That's it. I said thank you. Okay. That's it.
And then the wonderful, just unavoidable accusation. Why are you trying to act white?
What does that mean?
If you could tell me that, I would probably pay you money. Good, clean, green money.
What does that mean? I know we do things culturally different. We do things culturally different. We do things geographically different. Yes. Because there are some white people I've met
who get down with the get down.
Right. No more ghetto stuff than I do. And I'd be like, where I been? Like,
I be checking myself. Wait.
Like, doggo, am I still considered a part of the African American race? I don't know nothing about this.
The social contract that is.
Yeah, so it's just like, it does kill me when people say that. It's just like, no, no, that's not. I'm not acting different or anything like that.
You know
You
what it
know,
feels like? You know when you were a kid, I'm sure you've been at this. When you were a kid and you were having a disagreement with another kid and they couldn't figure out nothing else to say, and they say, I don't like you because you're ugly. And they run off because they couldn't think of nothing
no,
else.
nothing else.
Nothing
Yeah,
else. And I'm like, that's how I feel about when people say, well, you just trying to act like you white. I'm like, okay, translate. Ugh. Oh, I just popped my neck. Translate. You have just made me feel less than myself. I no longer feel confident. And so I'm going to throw the worst kind of insult I can from one black person to another. You just acting like you white, like you better than everybody else. Nah, that ain't how you want to come at me, partner.
like
that,
no, not at all, not at all. And
that ain't.
but I will say I am glad that certain things that are deemed white, African Americans are starting to take heed to, i.e., mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have more of us now seeking to speak to someone.
Ooh,
I
can we talk about that?
go for it. Ready.
Okay, because I have to check myself sometimes. Because here we go. How many times growing up did you hear that any kind of medication that a person took that was related to mental health was white folks' drugs? How many times did you hear something like, oh, so she didn't take her crazy pills today? All that kind of stuff. Or I've been under a whole lot of stress. Well, did you pray about it, baby? Because if you just leave it at the altar, Jesus will take care of it for you.
And go to sleep.
And stop bothering me. I got to watch my stories. So, yeah, we got a lot of work to do. And I'm actually encouraged because I know I have classmates from Tougaloo who went on and they've trained and they're like some of the rare unicorns, AKA black psychiatrists and psychologists who have gone through all the preparation and whatnot. So they got the degrees and the experience and the licenses to be able to say, yeah, you need some drugs. They have
Right.
that.
And oftentimes you don't need drugs, and what people feel like psychiatrists do is push drugs.
True.
Honestly, they don't.
No.
They really focus therapy wise first to help you unlearn the behavior.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's not the behavior is the issue. It's really your
Chemical
mind.
analysis. Yeah.
Yeah, your mind is not right, and therefore you need it. So, like
Mm-hmm.
full disclosure, I'm currently in therapy now. Um,
Bravo. Bravo, I should say.
uh, the first time I tried it, it was hilarious. And I say it was hilarious because I was going to sessions,
Mm-hmm.
and she'll ask me a question, and I just look at her, give her an answer, and after about a month, I think session 5, she goes, "You're wasting my time and your money. We're done." I just looked at her like, "Excuse you?" She said, "Yeah, you're not ready." She said, "I'm just sitting here. It's just like looking at a blank wall." She said, "Call me back when you're ready." And I just looked at her like, "Oh, okay. Well, thank you for your time." Like she kicked me out of therapy. Now, I went back to the same therapist and it's kind of a running joke now, but I understood what she was saying. Now,
Mm-hmm.
there's still some things that I won't let her chisel at because I'm just like, "Oh, ma'am, I think you try to break me and I just can't allow you to do that." But I see why she kicked me out the
Mm-hmm.
first time. I really was wasting, and I appreciate it because she could have continued to take my coins
Mm-hmm.
and just, for that hour, let me sit there and just not say anything. So
And just
I do
dictate.
appreciate
Mm-hmm.
that she was like, "Oh, baby, you wasted my time and your money. You not ready." And I tell people that all the time, like, you know, um, it's like church too. Supposed thing you go to church, you're always supposed to feel good. No, sometimes it's supposed to step on your toes. It's supposed to hurt a little bit because it helps us grow.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's always feeling good, we not. You
Pain
just
is a
church.
part. Pain is a part of the process of revelation. I think that's how it
Mm-hmm.
goes. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we have to kind of deal with this. And I really hope that after all this COVID-19 stuff goes on, that people, especially those frontline workers, and hopefully the hospitals now have people in place where they can go talk to and vent and scream. I was working part-time at a hospital and I quit literally 3 weeks before all this hit.
Mm-hmm.
That probably was a blessing, because I don't know if mentally, even though I wouldn't consider a frontline worker, you still in the midst of all the chaos.
Yeah, you walking in it.
Yeah, I was like, oh Lord, I wouldn't have been able to do this. I would have been cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Well, I did have the thought, because, I've worked in high schools and I've worked in healthcare centers. And I did have the thought, and I'm not ashamed of it. I was like, oh, Lord, thank you, Jesus. I'm not in that situation, because I would have been in a non-essential class position. But I don't know if I would have been retasked to go ahead and do something, because I was on the payroll, and because of my other qualifications and credentials, to go ahead and be exposed and whatnot on that. And that can wear upon your mind. My hope is that they won't wait until it's done, and I don't think they will, to begin to make some kind of rotation and mental health emphasis for those people who are frontline. Because I know my mom, she actually was so concerned about it because of her focus on early child care. She wrote something kind of like a love letter to the frontline people who have kids, because they're given everything they can just to stay above water while they're at work, and then they come home, many of them, being very careful, because all the doctor friends that I have, all the nurse friends that I have, and otherwise, they already had a protocol from when they come home. They usually go in their garage, they get rid of all their outer clothes, and they never make it in the house. And then they come in, and then they go ahead and decontaminate and shower and everything before they ever come by the kids. So they know what to do before this. But it's the not having the energy to be mama, not having the energy to be daddy when you get in there, because they've been waiting for you all day, because they haven't been able to get out. They've had no other interaction. And they're happy to see you. They want to jump on you. You want to be there for them, but where's the energy going to come from? Because you've not had a break.